She doesn't argue like you do. I'm holding a dish towel. He's holding his phone with her picture still on the screen. My boyfriend of 3 years just told me he's sleeping with someone else, and he wants me to understand why she's better. Not better at hiding it. Better than me. Maya just gets it, Caleb says, like he's explaining a simple concept I'm too difficult to grasp. She lets me lead. She doesn't question every little thing. I built my entire life around this man. Turned down a job in Seattle for his promotion here. Learned to cook his mother's recipes even though she clearly hates me. Pretended to enjoy his friends' boring conversations about crypto. He's waiting for me to cry. Beg. To ask what I did wrong. Instead, something inside me goes completely silent. I don't cry. I don't ask questions. I don't move. I just look at him. The silence stretches between us like a wire pulled so tight it might snap. Caleb shifts his weight. Uncrosses his arms. Crosses them again. Scratches the back of his neck. He opens his mouth twice before words actually come out. I mean, it's not that you're not great, he says, voice climbing higher. You're smart and successful and impressive and everything. But Maya, she just makes things peaceful. You know. I know exactly what he means. Maya doesn't point out when he's wrong about basic facts at dinner parties. Maya probably doesn't have opinions about how he loads the dishwasher. Maya doesn't have a career that occasionally requires her to work late. The silence is terrifying him more than anger ever could. Elena, say something, he pleads. You don't. He starts listing everything Maya does right, like he's reading from a scorecard. She laughs at all his jokes, even the ones that aren't funny. She doesn't correct him in public. She asks his opinion before making any decision, even small ones. She wears the dresses he likes. She never talks about her own bad days because she doesn't want to burden him. She just makes me feel like a man, he says. Each sentence is a knife. Not because I'm jealous of Maya, but because I'm suddenly seeing what Caleb actually wanted all along. He didn't want a partner. He wanted compliance wrapped in perfume. An audience of one. A mirror that only reflected back what made him comfortable. Do you think? He pauses, tilting his head like he's being generous. You could be more like that? Just softer. Less intense. Something inside my chest turns to stone. I feel the familiar urge rising, the one I've felt 1,000 times in this relationship. To explain myself. To prove I'm lovable. To list all the ways I've already bent and twisted and compressed myself into shapes that fit his comfort. I could remind him about Seattle. About the friends I see less now because he said they were a lot. About the pottery class I quit because Thursday was his gaming night and he liked me home. Then something shuts off inside me. Not rage. Not even hurt anymore. Clarity. I see our entire relationship like a blueprint suddenly lit up under fluorescent lights. Every time I adjusted my volume, my opinions, my dreams. Every time he stayed exactly the same. Every time compromise meant only I was compromising. My throat unclenches. My shoulders drop. I choose not to defend myself. I'm not competing, I say quietly. Not as a threat. As a simple fact. Caleb blinks like he misheard me. What? With Maya. I'm not competing with her. You've already made your choice. He laughs. This nervous sound that doesn't reach his eyes. Come on, Elena. Don't be dramatic. I'm just being honest about what I need. I thought you'd appreciate the honesty. I nod slowly. I do appreciate it. His smile starts to return. So you'll think about it. About maybe. No, I say. I'll get your things together. The smile dies on his face. I pack his clothes while he hovers in the doorway, explaining why I'm overreacting. Each folded shirt feels like reclaiming a piece of my dignity. I find the watch I bought him for our 2-year anniversary. The expensive one he wanted. The stack of books he never read but insisted on displaying. The gaming console that somehow became my responsibility to organize the living room around. You're seriously doing this right now? He asks, voice smaller than before. You already did this, I reply, placing his electric toothbrush in a toiletry bag. I'm just finishing it. Caleb's confident smirk from 20 minutes ago has completely vanished. He looks like a child whose bluff just got called in front of the whole class. I thought you'd fight for us, he says quietly. I did fight, I tell him, zipping the bag. For 2 years. You just never noticed because you were too busy keeping score. I wish him well at the door. No sarcasm. No bitterness. I genuinely mean it. I hope you and Maya are really happy, I say, handing him the last box. Caleb lingers on the threshold, boxes stacked in his arms, looking strangely lost. Like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's it, he asks. You're not going to. I don't know, say anything else. That's it. He stands there another moment, then finally turns to leave. Through the window, I watch him load his car, glancing back at my door 3 times like he expects me to run after him barefoot, begging him to stay. You don't. He drives away, and I can see it in his face even from here. He feels something he can't name. Unsatisfied. The first night alone I cry on the bathroom floor. Not because I want him back. Not even because I miss him specifically. I'm grieving the version of myself who believed that shrinking would make someone love her more. Who thought being less was the price of being chosen. I let the grief pass through me. I don't fight it. Don't try to dam it up with wine or sad music or calling friends to say he was terrible anyway. I just let it move through me like weather. Midnight I wash my face. At 1 a.m. I delete his number from my phone. At 2 a.m. I sleep better than I have in months. 3 days later Maya posts a photo. Soft filter. Her head resting on Caleb's shoulder. Caption. Finally found someone who appreciates peaceful femininity. Cherry blossom sparkles. My chest tightens for exactly 3 seconds. Then it loosens. A close Instagram. I don't screenshot it to send to my friends. I don't click on her profile to see what else she's posted. I don't start comparing her life to mine. I just close the app and make myself lunch. I make rules for myself that same afternoon. No checking Caleb's social media. No asking mutual friends about them. No rehearsing imaginary confrontations in the shower where I'm articulate and devastating and he finally understands what he lost. Every single time I want to know what he's doing, I do 10 push-ups instead. By week 2 I can do 40 push-ups without stopping. By week 3 I've forgotten why I started. His text comes on a Tuesday. Hope you're okay. I read it once. My fingers hover over the keyboard. The old me would have spent an hour crafting the perfect response. Casual but not too eager, friendly but with boundaries. I could say so many things. I could ask why he cares. I could tell him I'm better than okay. I could send a paragraph explaining exactly how his betrayal felt. Instead, I lock my phone and put it face down on my desk. I don't block him. I just don't respond. Days pass. Then weeks. Caleb sends another message. Longer this time. 3 paragraphs asking how I'm doing. Mentioning a song that reminded him of me. Wondering if maybe I'd want to grab coffee just as friends, just to talk. I read it while waiting for my coffee order. I feel nothing but distance. Later that day, my friend Jessica texts. He's watching literally every one of your stories. Like within seconds of you posting. I hadn't even noticed. I don't post revenge glow-up photos. I don't immediately start dating to prove some point to an audience of one. I just start working out because my body feels good when I move it. I eat better because I actually have energy to cook for myself now, instead of waiting to coordinate dinner around someone else's schedule and preferences. I sleep deeper because I'm not lying awake wondering if someone will come home and criticize how I spent my day. My confidence changes my posture before it changes anything else. A coworker mentions during a meeting that I seem different. Lighter, she says. Our mutual friend Ashley slips during lunch 2 weeks later. So, Caleb told Jason he feels completely unappreciated now, she says, watching my face carefully for a reaction. Apparently Maya is like, really passive. He said it's almost boring. I nod politely, spearing a piece of lettuce. That's unfortunate for him. You're not even a little bit curious about the details. Not really. She looks genuinely disappointed, like I've ruined her story. But I don't feel validated by his regret. I just feel confirmed in my decision. Later that week, someone asks me out. Marcus, a consultant from another department, kind eyes, asks real questions about my work instead of just waiting for his turn to talk. Say yes. Maya's Instagram posts start shifting. The soft-filtered couple photos are now interspersed with quotes about being seen for who you truly are, about not shrinking yourself too much for love, about finding your voice again. I don't feel smug. I don't feel vindicated. Feel free. Because her journey isn't my business, and Caleb's patterns aren't my problem to solve anymore. Caleb asks to meet for closure. The message comes through on a Thursday evening while I'm cooking dinner. Actual dinner, the kind I enjoy, with vegetables I like instead of the ones he'd tolerate. I reread it twice. Once, this message would have felt like an opening. Crack in the door. A chance to be chosen again, to prove I'd learned to be softer, easier, less. Now it just feels like an interruption to my evening. I delete it without responding. According to the friend network, the one I'm gradually caring less about, Caleb is telling people I was cold, too independent, that I prioritized my career over the relationship. The story doesn't land the way he wants it to. People who actually know me raise their eyebrows. They remember me turning down Seattle. They remember the rock climbing phase I went through because he liked it, even though I'm afraid of heights. They remember who I actually am. He's losing control of the narrative, and somewhere deep down he knows it. I see him at our mutual friend's birthday party 6 weeks after the breakup. I'm laughing at something Marcus said. Marcus, who thinks my ambition is attractive instead of threatening, who asks about my day because he's actually interested in the answer. Caleb is across the room with Maya, but his eyes find mine. I'm not thinner, not taller, haven't had some dramatic makeover. I'm just lighter, untouchable in a way that has nothing to do with him. He understands it finally, watching me from across that room. I didn't break. My life expands in ways I didn't plan for or expect. I accept the leadership role I'd been afraid to pursue, the one that would have meant longer hours, the one Caleb said would change our dynamic. I reconnect with friends I'd gradually drifted from. I take a pottery class on Thursday nights just because I want to. None of it is about Caleb. He's not the villain I'm overcoming. He's not the reason I'm growing. He's not even part of the equation anymore. I'm just finally growing into the space I'd been compressing myself out of. Maya deletes all traces of Caleb from her social media on a random Wednesday. Her new post, up less than an hour later. Choosing myself isn't selfish. It's survival. Within 60 minutes, my phone buzzes. Caleb, can we please talk? His message is long, rambling in a way that shows he wrote and rewrote it. He admits he compared me to someone else. Says he misses my strength now, that Maya was too passive, and he realizes what he lost. That I was right to leave. That he wasn't ready for someone like me. You challenged me, he writes. I thought I wanted easy, but easy is just boring. I read the first 3 lines while brushing my teeth. I don't finish reading. Late that night I open my notes app. I write everything I could say to him. Every hurt. Every truth. Every single way he made me feel small, difficult, like a problem to be managed instead of a person to be loved. The message is perfect. Cutting and honest and devastating. I read it twice, imagining his face as he reads it. Then I delete every single word. He doesn't deserve my closure. I don't need his understanding. Weeks go by. I realize one morning while making coffee in my quiet apartment that I haven't thought about Caleb in days. I haven't checked if he viewed my stories. Haven't wondered if he's with someone new. Haven't mentally drafted responses to messages he hasn't sent. The absence of him doesn't feel like a hole anymore. That realization hits me harder than any apology from him ever could have. I hear through Ashley that Caleb is dating again. Someone from his office. Younger apparently. I don't ask for details. and Ashley looks disappointed when I change the subject. No jealousy rises in my chest. No sadness. Just a vague, distant hope that maybe he's kinder to this one than he was to me. I close that conversation and return to planning my weekend. Marcus and I are driving to the coast. Once, I wondered why I wasn't enough. Why Maya was easier to love. Why my strength felt like a burden instead of a gift. Why wanting to be seen as an equal made me difficult. Then I stopped competing with a fantasy version of myself, the one that only existed in Caleb's comfort zone. Then I stopped checking if he noticed I was thriving. Then I stopped caring whether he regretted losing me. Now I'm sitting in my apartment, the one I redecorated exactly how I wanted, with the art he said was too much and the bold colors he called aggressive. And the only person I'm trying to impress is myself. My phone buzzes one final time. Caleb. I made a mistake. I read it. Feel absolutely nothing. And finally I block the number. Not out of anger. Not for revenge. Out of completion. The story's over. And I'm the only one who needed to know that.